I have here with me Mr. Stephen Jenkins, Humanities and English instructor with the Upward Bound program. Welcome, Mr. Jenkins.
Good to be here.
Tell me about your class.
I have two classes. One is English, one is Humanities. The English class is comprehension and composition. So we started with the theme from grudge to reconciliation. And we started at literature-based. We look at a couple of the stories from Chaucer, The Miller's Tale, which was more entertaining than Grudge to Reconciliation, but then The Knight's Tale, which was specifically that. And then I asked them to go into their own experience and tell stories from their own life, how something bad has happened to them and how they've worked it out and moved from grudge to reconciliation. They did that in the written form, and they also did it where they told a story just as Chaucer's pilgrims did to each other. And so that's been the English class. We've also concentrated on journal writing a lot because it's a written form, and some poetry. We've done Langston Hughes from African-American poet, but we've also done some World War I poetry because we can, we never forget that we're still in a war situation and people are dying every day. So that they were both very relevant.
You told me you've been teaching for 36 years. And what's the difference between teaching college students and high school students?
Well, I've had to adapt a little bit. I've taught high school students before, but it's been a little while. It's been challenging some days, but it's also been informative to me because whoever I teach, I learn from. And for instance, I managed to learn who Tyler Perry was. I had no idea who Tyler Perry was. But that fitted in very well with the Grudge to Reconciliation because as I viewed one of his movies and as they were explaining to me, all his movies, I mean, some parts of them may be crude, but because of his Christian philosophy, always they moved to a reconciliation of some kind by the end of the movie. So it fitted in very well and it made it relevant for them, and I enjoyed learning about it as well.
And we also talked to some of your students, and here's what they had to say about the class.
All right.
What did you like about Humanities?
Humanities, we got to watch a lot of good movies with a lot of good subjects, and it taught you a lot, like different issues in the world that I didn't even know about, and it's just good to know.
What did you like best?
Well, in Humanities, I like best our discussions with human rights and getting a better understanding about human rights in the different countries and how it's different from our country. And in English, I liked getting a better understanding about the subject of grudge to reconciliation.
I like the class. In English, we had good discussions. Sometimes it got a little heated, but for the most part, people had their own opinions, and I liked the discussions. They were fun. And in Humanities, we watched interesting movies, like movies I'd never seen before about the Holocaust and things like that.
I think the students like your class.
Well, good. Yes, I didn't hear what it was.
Tell me, what do you hope the students will get out of your class by the end of the 6 weeks?
Well, I believe that they will be more thoughtful about what happens to them when bad things happen to them and how they let that affect their life, whether they let it affect them detrimentally or whether they move forward in hope and to reconciliation. The human rights, the humanities class that I teach, we've mainly concentrated on human rights because we've been extremely fortunate in having the planetarium, so we could use some YouTubes and some movies. And we connected up with the visit to the Holocaust Museum by starting off with Schindler's List and looking at the clearance of the ghetto in Krakow, just that extract there, which was very powerful for them. And also, as we're sitting in that classroom, we're seeing in Iran, the demonstrations in Iran, and the girl Neda being shot on the streets, and the baton charges, and the mustard gas. And we're looking at that, and we're discussing that on YouTube. Yet at the same time, I can show them a YouTube of the Kent State shootings in 1970.
In Ohio.
And tie that into a movie we watched, The Secret Life of Bees, which had some wonderful civil rights highlights there. So I'd like to think that they go away from this course with a deeper understanding of human rights and that it's a worldwide thing, not just the United States. It encompasses a global perspective.
You've been teaching 36 years, a long time.
That's a long time, yes.
Yeah. Mr. Jenkins, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Once again, I just want to thank you, and the experience, I'm sure this summer was absolutely wonderful.
It was very good.
Thank
It was
you.
good. Thank you.
With classes like humanities, English, and broadcasting, students will continue to benefit from the program every year. The Upward Bound program is truly changing lives. I am Naza Kuselli.
And I'm Harris Miano.
Thanks for joining us and have a great night.